Hey, I'm Cam Day. Welcome to the channel and to today's video. I'm so happy you're here. I hope you're doing okay, and I'm excited to build a holiday glam look with you. You're kind of looking at it, but you're not seeing the whole thing. Just wait till we get to the actual tutorial part. You'll see that this look is a lot more dimensional, not only in the actual shadow and kind of shimmer itself, but also in the options that you have. This is one of the bumped up versions. It's versatile. You can kind of do like a day to night, kind of a family time Zoom meets later, I don't know, FaceTime Bumble date. I don't know what people are doing in 2020 holiday season, but just know that you've got a lot of options with this look, and as you can tell, it's definitely not, and I wouldn't consider it a traditional holiday look, but I think it's perfect for this holiday, especially for me and what I'm looking for. I love playing with makeup, but I don't always have the energy to do like the full shebang, and if I do, I definitely don't have the energy to remove it all, especially at the end of the night, especially during a weird holiday season. So what I normally would go for would be like silver glitter and black liner or smoky black. Like I get really intense and smoky and try and play it up with the glitter. I think it's fun and I just love expressing myself in that way. And if it's not that deep, then it's usually like the golds or reds or even a little bit of green, just something very true to the season, right? And I wanted to do something a little bit different, something light and fresh, yet dimensional and fun. Truly though, I want it to be simple and effective, and I want everyone to be able to try it with me. So what you can expect is kind of the building of this look, like I said, and the different versions that you can kind of go with. If you want a darker lip, I promise I'll walk you through the whole thing. But I want you to know that this is kind of like a recipe, and I want you to treat this like I treat recipes. Like for instance, today I made crispy Brussels sprouts as a side dish for dinner. I hadn't made them in a while, so I looked up a recipe, and what I found was the baking temperature and amount of time that I wanted to use and a couple ingredients for this the sauce. But I didn't do everything by the recipe. I used what I had on hand, what I actually felt like putting in the work to do, and what I knew or felt would taste good. So that's always what I want you guys to take away from any tutorial that I ever do. But I also especially want you to keep that in mind with this specific tutorial, because it's one of my actual favorite eyeshadow techniques or styles. It's focusing on a lighter shimmery inner corner and smoking it out a little bit on the outer corners. I think this is going to be great on any face, on any eye shape. I'm talking mono lid, hooded lid, deep set, close together, wide set. It's going to look great on everybody, and it's going to be great at any skill level as well. So again, as I show you the kind of gradual progression of the look, you'll be able to kind of pick and choose where you want to focus and what you want to do and what feels right for you. Play with any colors that you have. This is merely a suggestion and what felt fun and what I felt inspired by, but just do you, and let's just play together. I really just wanted to do this look with the 2020 energy that I've got right now, which is not a lot, but still cute, still simple and effective, and you best believe I don't fit any of my fancy cute clothes right now, so I'm wearing one of my favorite tees, just a simple long sleeve tee, and a you betcha sweet tush. I'm just wearing yoga pants, y'all. Flare leggings, the kids are saying these days. But I'm keeping it simple. That's for sure what I'm going to be wearing on the holidays this year. Am I still going to look cute? Yes. Am I going to be comfy AF? Yes. I want you to feel that way too. Dress up, dress down, do what you gotta do. We're in this together. Let's get to it. Okay, first things first, I'm just going to run you through really quickly the base that I've chosen for today. It is a mixture of 2 shades of Too Faced Born This Way foundation, porcelain and light beige, and then I used Tarte Shape Tape concealer lightly around my eyes, and then I used the Item Beauty bronzer. This is a little sample from Ipsy, and I just used that to warm up my face. And now I'm going to use a little bit of blush. I'm using the cream blush from e.l.f., and I'm going to use this light peachy shade. I'm going for a clean, simple, more neutral base so that I can just play up the eyes and draw more attention there. Using a duo fiber stippling brush, I'm just dipping right into the pan and applying it straight onto my cheeks. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. If I want to build it up at the end of things, I will, of course, but for now, this is great. Now, onto the eyes. The color that really inspired this look is coming from this little Revlon palette. It's the Player themed palette, and it's this light blue shimmery metallic shade. I'm always such a sucker for an inner corner pop of color or shimmer in the first place, but this combination of the color and the shimmer just really does it for me. I think, I don't know, it just feels right. Like I said in the beginning, it's not traditional holiday, but it still feels wintry, it still feels festive, and it's gonna be really light and simple and yet really effective and fancy. So using one of my absolute favorite brushes, because I'm such an inner corner fiend, this is a Morphe M507. It's tiny and tapered and it fits perfectly in an inner corner. I also think this will be great for any eye shape. Again, I think this look will be great regardless of eye shape. I think you just want to focus on tailoring the amount and kind of the direction that you want to go, just based on, one, your personal preferences, but also what you feel works best for your eye shape. I've primed my lids already with my concealer, the Tarte Shape Tape. It's just got a nice full coverage, and I used a shade that's a little bit lighter so that it will help to kind of add a little bit of pop and definition to these lighter colors. So I'm using what's on my brush, this light blue shade, and I'm just starting with my brush kind of at an angle, pointed directly at my tear duct, and I'm just starting to brush up into that little socket that's right there. And then I'm just starting to bring whatever's left on my brush, not dipping back in for more color, and then just going lightly around the crease where you can kind of see and feel, especially if you have eyes shaped like I do, feel the dome of your actual eyeball. So it's going to kind of trace your eyebrow and the outline of your eyeball. So it just kind of creates this trail off effect. I'm gonna zoom in and see if you can get a little more detail with me. There we go. So now I'm double dipping and I'm going back in and building up that blue in the inner corner and doing the same thing. Just bringing my brush up and over in no particular direction, rhyme or reason, just kind of bringing it across the lid. Just a note, I haven't focused too much on the actual inner corner closer to the tear duct or at the starting at the bottom lashes on either of my eyes yet. We're not quite there yet, and depending on what you choose to focus there, that could also change up the entire shape of the look. So I want to keep it just like this, super simple, super natural, following the natural contours of my eye, and we can mix it up if we want to later. Next is this gold shade. So excited. This is from, I'm doing a bit of palette hopping because I know where the shades I'm looking for kind of are in all of these, but as always, use what you have, use what feels right and what feels good, and just go with it. So the gold shade that I'm going to use is coming from this Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. I do have a gold in this Revlon palette, which I think I'm going to use, but I want to start with this lighter one. It's almost kind of champagne-y, and using the same brush that I just rubbed off on a little towel that I have here at my desk, I'm going to do the same thing, but go a little bit closer in toward the lid, in toward the center of the lid. Not going too far. I'll show you. We're going to zoom back in. Almost tracing the area that we went before. So still going in and still going up and around. Just really lightly, and doing it in these really light short strokes so that it's not too heavy of a deposit of color. I re-dipped my brush and I'm going to go a little bit farther in my inner corner, almost overlapping the first blue, just close to my lash line, and then still doing the up and over. The key is that you want this all to be blended and just have its own dimensional shimmer deliciousness. Don't worry, we're not done, although you totally could be. I think that this is already a really cute and effective little shimmery look, but I want to intensify and kind of brighten my inner corner a little bit, so I'm going to use this shade from my Fenty Kilowatt Foil palette. It's kind of like this frosty blue, but definitely with a white pearl base. And then to deepen the gold a little bit, I'm going to use this almost more bronzy gold from the Revlon palette. I'll show you in a second. Okay, I'm coming back in. I want to show you the difference. So this is the more finished eye. This is where I added the extra blue from the Fenty, the extra gold from the Revlon, and then I added a really light, kind of neutral cocoa brown. It's just a matte shadow. It might be similar to a bronzer that you might have, anything that will just have to kind of deepen the outer corner. And I also just needed some powder there or some shadow because I'm really prone to creasing. So I wanted to add some depth without making it too smoky and too heavy, and really just still highlight the, just look at the shimmer and everywhere that it goes. So looking straight on, it doesn't look super dramatic, but as you can tell, this is the original, just with the 2 shades, and then I added other dimensional shades and also totally that was really hard. Dramatized the shape and the angle. Like I actually had it come up to the bottom of my brow. I normally don't do that, but I like what it's doing. And I would even bring it a little bit more over, just in a little bit of a dusting of the blue. But I just really like, I hope I'm not moving my head too much. I just really like the way that it all kind of takes shape. So I might add a little more gold, but I'm gonna finish the other eye and then I'll show you how we can deepen it a little bit. Okay, so I accidentally just deleted the clip where I showed you how I finished up the eyes because I wanted to show you how I started to shade this outer corner. So bear with me. I'm just gonna kind of recreate it. So using one of my, I have a lot of favorite brush styles, I guess, but using another one. This is one from ColourPop. It's an E1, I think a shader brush, but it's kind of flat. See how it's flat, but kind of fanned really, really lightly. It's a fluffy, flat brush. So using the same Desert Dusk palette, I'm gonna go in with this, it's kind of a dark taupey brown beige shade, and it's called Musk. Lightly tapping my brush on it and starting right at my lash line, pressing the color in and then using it back and forth, blending up toward my crease. And then a little bit in toward the center, but not anything too crazy. Same thing over here, pressing in at the lashes and drawing it in toward the center of my lid and then bringing it up toward the crease or middle of your eye. If you like to add a little bit of a wing shape or just focus on your shape a little bit more, please feel free to do that while you start to build this shadow, but do whatever you feel like. And with that, I'm gonna call that the eyeshadow look. We're definitely not done yet, but I'm gonna show you how I personally would kind of complete this look and stop it here. I'll show you what I would do for a lip, and then we'll do a little bump up, a little, let's call this day, and I'll show you what I would do for night. This is one of my favorite parts, time for some mascara. Right now I'm using Chanel Le Volume. Use whatever you got, and normally I curl my lashes. It's kind of a requisite for like any time I'm wearing, I don't know, my face. I just love to curl my lashes with or without makeup. However, when I do a look like this where attention is focused either in the center, like the inner corner of my eye, or out on the outer corners, I like to just keep my lashes how they normally are so that they're a little bit flatter, and I just start to brush my mascara how I normally do, but I start at the outer corner and I try and wing it out as much as I possibly can, trying to kind of suggest to them that they should go this way to kind of butterfly and elongate the outer part of my eye. So instead of doing my regular brush through and go straight out, I try to bring a little more drama and a little more attention to the outer corner. And that also means not going super heavy toward the inner corner, not layering as much. If mascara is not necessarily your thing, or your lashes just don't really cooperate with you, whatever the reason is, if you want to play with some lashes, I'd recommend trying out some individual lashes, or they actually make outer corner strip lashes, so it's just like a half or even a quarter of a regular strip lash to place at the ends for a little extra drama, or just leave it and let the shadow speak for itself. I do the same method on my bottom lashes. I'm using MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash. I like it for my bottom lashes because I like the way the wand is. It's not too clunky for bottom lashes, and it's also waterproof, and I'm always getting fallout or transfer from my mascara onto my under eye, and that doesn't happen with this. So I'm just going really lightly because I still want to keep the attention on my top lashes, but focusing on the outer corner first, and then using just a little tiny attention to the inner corner. Okay, now that the lashes are done, we're moving on to the final touch, and that's some lips. I'm not doing a highlighter, although I think it would be cute to kind of play off of the frostiness or the gold and add that to the cheeks, so do so if that feels right to you. But I like that I have a little bit of a sheen from the cream, what's it called? A blush. And I just want to add more pop and more drama to my lips. So enter Glossier lip gloss in the original shade. And I'm just doing one doe foot full, and I just did one side on my bottom and the other on my top. And you see that shine, right? Like, it's ridiculous. Tell me that's not crazy. Can you guys see your reflection? Wouldn't be surprised. I like the idea of a gloss for this look because, like I said, I really want to keep the focus and the attention on my eyes, and although it's not super dramatic, it still has enough dimension that it catches different light, and I just think it's fun and sweet and simple, and I want to keep my skin fresh and have a lip that still kind of builds on that attention but isn't too bold. It's not a matte lip that's gonna get messed up or that's gonna dry out on me or get everywhere. Now yes, gloss can be sticky and it can fade over time. It's great to just put on before you've got your Zoom call or whatever you've got going on for your Instagram post, you know what I'm saying? And it speaks for itself. It brings a lot of life, especially if you're, you know, maybe not usually a gloss person. It can be fun to kind of dare a little bit. And it's just easy to wipe off in the moment if you're about to eat, drink, take a nap, and just totally face dive into your pillow, you know, smooch a loved one, whatever. I just like that it's versatile and it doesn't require a lot of commitment. And that's okay. Before we go, as promised, I am gonna bump this look up really quickly and I'll break it down for you in just a second. So you'll see a little more drama coming from me in 3, 2, 1. And we're back, ladies and germs. Here we are. Yes, I did only do half of my face. I just wanted to show you the comparison. Let's start with the lips. We left the glossy, juicy lightness behind and opted for more of a deep nude and a matte liquid lipstick. I'm not normally a liquid lipstick girl, however, these Lime Crime formulas do it for me when I need them to. This is the shade Buffy, and it's one of my favorites. It's really comfortable, it's fully dried down, and I think it's gonna work well if you, again, are eating and drinking. I don't think it's totally infallible, so keep that in mind, but it looks good on camera, it looks good in person, and it just adds a little bit more depth to the look. It's still neutral, it's not too heavy, like a deep red, which I know feels very season appropriate, but I just like the way that it looks with this. I did add a little bit more blush, but you can't really tell, and it's totally not necessary. And then of course, I added a little bit of a smoky wing situation to the eye. I just used this darker brown shade that was part of the Revlon palette using a brush like this. This is another Morphe brush. They make really great cheap brushes. It's the M408. It's a really densely packed flat dome brush. So it's great for padding in color and making sure it's really pigmented, and because it's super thin, you can bring it out as a little wing. So normally I don't wing things out because I almost always have them uneven. So if you are not a fan or just don't want to take the time to overcomplicate things and make it a wing, if you're not a wing girl, then just use the darker shade and kind of make it a smoky blob. Wow, these zoom skills are impeccable, I'm sure, as I knock stuff over. I'm gonna take a quick minute and even myself out, and then I'll be back to close this all out. Because apparently, for the life of me today, I can't get an even wing, I decided to go ahead and do an educational thing and show you what the smoky blob shape I talked about would look like. It's this. So this is the defined wing, and if you want to not have to do a lot of skill-related things, just use one of the brushes that we talked about earlier. It's this fluffy yet flat brush, and you still do the same thing. You just take a darker shade, and again, it's still that brown, the dark brown from the Revlon palette. Pat it in, close at the lash line, and then just use the rest to kind of blend it out and diffuse it. I can't help but laugh at myself. I found a happy medium. Yes, I went back to the gloss. It's just more of my personal preference for today, and I decided to smoke out the wing too, so that it's kind of an even smoky blob. Does it work? it'll do for now. Anyway, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you were able to get a little bit of inspiration, whether it be color story. I love the idea of using a cool and a warm tone like the blues and the golds. I think it's really fun. I think it's great again for winter time and festivities that, you know, surround all of that. And again, this shape of shadow is one of my absolute favorites. I do it all the time and I play with all different kind of colors and color combinations, and I think that this will work really well with whatever shadows you have and whatever colors you want to put together. I think it's going to be really, really awesome. So I hope you give it a try. Please let me know in the comments if it is something that you want to try, if you have any of your own tips, and if you are more of a wing person, or if you like a little bit more of like a smoked out outer corner. Again, my shapes are all whack right now. I'm really realizing it as I look more and more, but I'm not going to stress about it. We can always clean it up if you want to use your concealer or a micellar water, or just leave it because it's not that deep. You look bomb anyway. And if you're looking at people through Zoom, they're not going to be able to tell anyway. Or if you're not even looking at anybody at all, you know what I'm saying? So that's all I have for you beautiful people. In addition to that really light, gentle burp, you're welcome. Happy holidays. I'm sorry that I can offer you more than that. I hope so, at least. Please take care of yourselves. I hope you're able to do something this holiday season that kind of feels normal to you, if that's something that you seek, and that you're able to connect to those that love you and that you love. Eat the foods that fill you up and make you feel good, and just try and take in the simpler moments and keep chugging along. That's all we can do. I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season, whatever that looks like for you, whether you're working or not, whether you're with family or not. Just know that I'm here and I will continue to be putting out content because this is my happy, safe place, and I hope that I'll see you here in the next video. Thanks for putting up with my shenanigans. Have a safe and happy holiday season. I love you so much. Please take care, be well, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you. Bye.